Flu Project y Sonus Vita Vital Carbon Security. Esto no lo has visto antes. Bien. En 2010 nació un troyano un poco verde. Hablamos de seguridad. ¿Quieres conocerle? El fenómeno fan que aparece de repente entre malos apodados. Virus de la muerte. Aprendizaje, comunidad, todo es libre. Nadie se atreve con él, pero esto sigue. Blue Project Blog, cada día un post. Juan, Antonio y Pablo programándolo. Para más info suscríbete. Si no lo entiendes, pregúntales. Blue Project Friend is the best. Y si no lo crees, en Twitter sígueles. Les ves en la route, también la no con mail. Por una red más segura, recuerda bien estos nombres. La hazaña que tienen por detrás estos dos hombres. Esto es Flu, lo normal es que te asombres.
Bien. Hemos querido salir un poco de lo normal.
Hello everybody, we have wanted to present this topic in a very fun way. Somebody sent us an email, and Beeb, the singer, gave us his song for us to show all around the world. What better place to show this new song than Rooted.com? Last year we had another celebrity among us, and this year David deserves to be listened by Rooted people here. The longest long play is available for you after this event. Many of you have known him before. Perhaps I'm familiar for all of you, but anyway, I will introduce myself to all of you in a very short way. Testing, 1, 2, 2. The person who's always by my side during these talks is Juan Antonio Calles. He is a PhD degree student in computer sciences. He is a cybersecurity consultant, for instances. He will give us good news and important news later on. My name is Pablo Gonzalez. I'm working in iPath for Telefónica's company, and I had been a cybersecurity consultant, and I'm managing a team regarding security issues within Telefónica. During our presentation, or during our talk, I'd like to tell you about a very crazy idea I came up with. What better place to put on to bring up crazy and nuts ideas rather than Rooted.com, because crazy ideas should be here among this kind of events. That's why I want to show you a concept of cyber weapon infrastructure, where the vision from the citizens, from our fellow citizens, have a lot to say. Let's give their say to the citizens, the fellow citizens, where citizens are the real protagonists and stars. I will first introduce you the technology given by every citizen, which can be considered as a cyber weapon. To sum up, let's imagine a middle-sized Spain, 30, 40 million people, country where citizens give this technology before a conflict, because their organization is subjected by other organization. We can come up with a super size cyber weapon, but the number of devices interconnected rising from that super device would be absolutely huge and exponential. This is the index of the table of contents. My fellow companion will speak about the current state of cyber threats, cyber wars and components, technology and costs, and then myself will introduce you to the obscure, to the dark world from a civil citizen viewpoint, because in fact I'm a civil citizen. How to turn from citizen into cyber soldier. So Juan Antonio, you have the floor. Like I said, like Pablo says, let's talk about cyber war, cyber security, cyber attacks, and cyber defense, cyber espionage. As you may know, we are currently living in a physical world where we are influenced by a virtual world. Everything happening in the physical world can impact our virtual world and vice versa. For example, an influential person, a politician, makes a comment on Twitter, and his comment can have fabulous repercussions or catastrophic repercussions. Samely, if many of the citizens tweet some messages on Twitter, they can get wonderful things because they are influential people or catastrophic threats. For instance, such as strikes, demonstrations, people commented on these issues on social networks, and they triggered important repercussion. That's why all these devices interconnected with the internet give us a huge range of possibilities interconnecting the physical and the virtual world on both sides. Like I said before, the Google Glass, these Google Glasses, you can put them on our faces. We can locate or spot on somebody on social networks where this person lives, who their friends are. This is essential in the cyber war, especially in cyber espionage issues, for us to know what can trigger or happen in a country as such. What can happen when all these assets interconnected on the internet are going to be connected but cyber threatened at the same time? Let's imagine the cryptological national report from last year where they says that where the cyber threat was focused was Russia. This country, Russia, oh, fuck up. I don't have anything. I don't have a damn against the Russians, hackers and malware creators in Russia. Perhaps it's not like this. Perhaps the best malware can be done in Spain. Of course, why not? You know what Careta is malware located and has been operating since 2007. It's been detected in several countries, and especially 40% is located and affected to the teams from Morocco, which is a funny thing because they saw strings with chains of text written in Spanish. They suspected they could be coming from an American country, Latin American country, but they find, okay, fuck off, me cago en la mar, fuck off. They said to themselves, oh, this could be from Spain, from Andalusia. In southern Spain, it's not a Trojan virus, but the case is that there may be a Spanish malware or not. They put on this text in Spanish and they wanted to create this is coming from Spain, but perhaps not like this. This joined with the fact that 40% of machines infected were in Morocco. There was a lot of speculation about their origin. So let's leave it like this. This is such info you can find on the internet, and that's why I'm presenting it on you. So if this Careta malware has been created in Spain, but we are among the best Spain's hackers. Is there any Careta here in the room? Please raise your hands. No. So following up on the statistics on these issues, they show us what the most suspicious states attacking typical infrastructures were. China ranked first. The most funny thing is countries such as France is so up in this rank because perhaps France has such a cyber army so advanced. Why not? France attacked Springfield by launching a neutron bomb. You know the results. Another funny statistics. So as the states who have reported cyber attacks. Spain and France are very up on this this rank. Chinese people are attacking us. That's true. So the latest statistics in this row, I want to show you this study, this case study, where they were asked, people from America, from the States, were asked about their vote, Democrats, Grand Old Party, and 50% say they were very scared of the cyber war beyond the terrorism itself. So the perception of cyber war is affecting all over the world. And the consequences are like this. In the current fiscal revenue year, we are investing many million dollars in preventing the cyber war. There's another law from the protection of the cyber information. Okay, believe it or not, we are in a cyber war state. That was triggered by the United States when they make a press release where the Americans say they were attacking from China, and China said back to them that there weren't. It's America who is attacking the Chinese. The Chinese said, so they didn't know how this will unfold, and in the very end, it diluted, but it stayed like this. But it could have been a big, real cyber war. Let's not go so far to define cases of cyber espionage on the Spain's newspaper El Mundo, the world. Eastern country attacking Germany, where they stole all the passwords from all the Germany's ministries. My goodness, people from the eastern country stealing and sneaking through the emails of German ministries. So, the word cybermola, which is a Spanish word meaning cyber cool, cyber cool is a trending topic, a trending word now in Spain. Now we are going to break down these issues, the components of cyber war. First, cyber defense, cyber attacks, and cyber espionage. 3 points, and they are going to split up as follows. Cyber espionage. What is cyber espionage? A short definition is the art of digital infiltration to recover information. It's pointed out low cost. What can a country with very few economic resources to confront the war? Smartphones and tablets are a big issue because they are sold over 1,000 million tablets and smartphones all over the world. It's proliferating all over the world, and it can help us a lot regarding cyber espionage issues. It's better to distribute this among the society. Markets are going to play an important role in this endeavor, and this will be a kind of malware going on. And the key issue are smartphones and tablets. There are many cases of latest cyber espionage, such as the one committed by Pablo. On this program, from Snowden, they told us that there was espionage among their users. Google Maps was also used for this espionage, Google Maps. The NSA told us that Android and the Android market was the super golden stone for these issues. It's now in the air that markets are crucial to cyber espionage and cyber war for the role they can play. This last weekend, the Kinects rose. United Kingdom may have espionage, a lot of video chats with these Kinects. How many of you are using Kinects? Please, move on, tell us. I have Kinects, of course, myself. Cyber defense. What can we tell you about cyber defense? Protection before cyber attacks. Cyber defense changes slightly regarding cyber espionage and cyber attacks because we cannot take low-cost measures. We need a lot of money invested regarding firewalls, systems of prevention of intruders and systems, and before denial of services, big supportive infrastructures before the cyber attacks. We need a lot of money, and the best defense is a good attack. Regarding cyber defense, Chinese people know a lot. You can see the Lichin from China with their goat because they have the great firewall, the big Chinese wall. But even the greatest Chinese scam fell into this business, where the 32% of Chinese domains, were collapsed and fallen by cyber hackers in China. Cyber attacks, as you know, is an action to damage enemies' assets. Among our low-cost infrastructures, if we don't have cyber soldiers, no problem. Now we have cyber citizens, cyber arms. We don't have cyber weapons, no problem. We have the smartphones. If we don't have infrastructure, we have internet, which is for free. And if we don't have a government, okay, we can govern ourselves without a government. That's it, period. Now, some examples of cyber attacks. There are some people who think that the very first cyber wars was Russia, Estonia, Russia, Georgia, 2008, 2007. But we go back to our records and we found out the very cyber wars in Kosovo in 1999, where they hired many hackers to penetrate in the NATO and White House systems and some American portal. We can consider the very first cyber war dating back to 1999. And there was another cyber war confronting China with Taiwan, with a lot of malware and a lot of critical infrastructures in Taiwan affected. It affected the hospital, the stock market. China never recognized, admitted this fact, but we thought that was China attacking Taiwan. Another cyber attack regarding the topic Sponge House, which was the biggest denial of services with 300 gigs per second. Another cyber attacks among countries and states, but also at a world level in 2010. But this is considered like cyber guerrilla, which is a very different concept. You all know this. In 2011 is considered the very first computer cyber war at the world level due to the Stop Applying Privacy Act, the SOPA law, and they started the blackout operation. Now there is an economic or financial cyber war. Can you feel it in the air? Is the world's third largest Chinese Bitcoin exchange hit by 100 GIPS denial of service attacks. BTC from China collapsed, its install collapsed, and it won't be hang up until they don't have enough security measures. There's another news, but MT Ghosh collapsed last weekend. The gateway with 80% of Bitcoin's transactions and operations work. This is brutal. And Freshcoin collapsed last Tuesday. So all the Bitcoin's gateways are collapsing. Is this not a financial cyber war? There is a big plot against Bitcoin. Governments are interested and banks are interested in ousting the Bitcoins, stock exchanges as well against the Bitcoins. You can make your own thoughts. This is the Bitcoin apocalypse. Time will tell. Time will tell. As I said before, the Spawn House denial of services attack was the biggest one until that aid. There was another 400 gigs per second, taking advantage of the vulnerabilities in service. In servers, they took the origin server direction, SPUT, they look for NTP servers supporting the common PTs. And when you does packages under PT, you get bigger packages with the 600 requests made to the server. If a package increases 12 times, and you can sweep off everybody or everybody else. I'm sent a study to these companies, but I thought that almost 2,000 servers were used for this cyber attack. Who are cyber armies? It's a group of people who protect the state and their actions. They can be qualified people or not. We don't say that military are bad, but there could be non-expert people as well. We need to make them to be our cyber soldiers as well. Citizens should be cyber soldiers as well. Now, cyber states are being armed. They are getting their own cyber weapons against the hackers. And in states, American people are looking for or against Russian hackers. But now let's go with the question, the main question: who is the strongest and most powerful people? A cyber army or an army full of citizens? Talent or money? It depends on how many means countries have. Internet, it's making the situation even equal. Regarding technologies and costs, as I put forward before, there are 1,000 million smartphones are sold every year that can be used in a case of a cyber war against malware, software, all this stuff. Pablo will tell you later on. I don't want to advance events. And how can cheap this means? This can get all the states even and equal. We can connect up to devices to the internet, but the toaster is not now connected. But in time will tell. Now Pablo will tell about the dark world. Let's start by the dark world, this mysterious world. And the question is, are the state cyber armed? From a citizen and civil viewpoint, we think that, of course, the cyber war exists. Cyber warfare exists. We can see news on the internet that say to us that in the States and in China, many things happen which justify these laws, these conflicts, these kinds of cyber war, cyber warfare. We know that the states have a huge number of cyber soldiers, and there are counted at least 200,000 cyber soldiers in China. What happens in Europe? We are getting into this game more and more, but it's difficult for us to justify in Europe the employment, the use of money for cyber issues, how do we need a cyber defense? This is the point that is posed in Europe. That's why the states in Europe opt for campaigning with 5-minute ads or commercials where the European states tell us about the danger of terrorism, the risks of terrorism, how to prevent cyber attacks. European states are making us aware of this cyber threat, or they are manipulating us in Europe. Our viewpoint, this in Europe is not leading, is not reaching the citizens in Europe. It's difficult for us in Europe to justify the usage and the expense of so many million euros for European citizens who don't have these cyber weapons in their hands. How can we justify the use of so much money against cyber war for European citizens who only are based on physical issues? Now, there will be a run of questions after my presentation in which I can tackle this issue. We are people, we are geeks, we are people coming from the technical world. That's why we can show you a short proof of of concept and a low-cost infrastructure that can endow any country with very little resources. For instance, not only countries, we can take a very reduced number of people and we can set up and implement this infrastructure on the internet. Internet is the focus. The state, United States, can disconnect some country and you can get very limited. But if we don't talk about a very high important country, one small country can subject another country, and the low cost of technology can equal us. We are on the same equal or even plan. How can we become from a citizen into a civil soldier? Now, ethical questions. Who is going to give us this technology? Who among the citizens are going to give the technology to the citizens? There are some countries where the concept of freedom, liberty are different from us. Believe it or not, but this is the point. The truth is that if we have a very fuck-up situation in a country, subject to another enemy, another country, what can I give you in the cybernetic world? My mobile devices, and I can give in the hands of my government these mobile devices for them to attack other countries, enemies' countries. The physical repercussions comes from the digital world. Are equivalent. What we do in the digital world repercutes on the physical world. We all understand this, am I correct? A company opening the press can affect us as well. So we are equal on this point. After this heavy presentation, let's move on to our needs. What do we need? As Juan Antonio said, we need a recruitment network who currently are given by big companies such as Google, Apple, Microsoft. They are giving us this distribution and recruitment networks. These companies give us this means for some governments to distribute their applications and control the other people's and citizens' technologies. We thought about carrying out a proof of concept, testing this. There always may be done in a good or bad mood. If the citizens is aware that it's giving their technology, it's okay, but if you don't give us your consent, I can deceive you. How many of you have seen in Google Play a WhatsApp which is original to the first one, but it's identical, but it's not the same as the original, but it's on Google Drive. Who can tell you that WhatsApp now it's owned by Facebook, can do anything else. The WhatsApp is doing a lot of things that maybe we don't know what they're figuring out. Because what's going on here? Underlying actions, hidden actions. Now, market distribution. And they make things not detectable sometimes. Who among here don't have an antivirus program somewhere in your computing equipment? Please raise your hands, those brave who do not have an antivirus on the smartphones. Raise your hands. There are many more, the ones who raise their hands. Regarding the smartphones, we think, okay, we don't have to protect it so much, but we have to protect it a lot because it's on us a long time. And it's a real weapon. And smartphones, can be a sneak through these smartphones and attack them. Perhaps not Apple. Apple is slightly more complex, but Google Play, we can see cases every week. What else do we need? We need a government infrastructures, command, control, console. What are you telling me? This is a bonnet, but on mobile devices. But what can we do with these bonnets? Many more things than previously, because these devices are always with us. We are also having a mic on us, a camera on us. I will be able to use a pivoting from after going from a 3G network to a better one, I will always be able to do actions that with previous portable devices I couldn't do. I can go to a demonstration in the public and I can say to myself, okay, I need some cameras, surveillance cameras, a microphone here in the demonstration. This will be a reality. Furthermore, we need the creation of cyber arms, cyber weapons through technology given by citizens. Once again, as I told you before. Now let's move on to the cyber scenarios. Very first scenario is as on screen. It's the simplest one. I can do a pickup. Let's focus on Android. I can do a pickup. Dressed it up in like a lantern, like a flashlight. Upload it here. It's a pity you cannot see it properly. But I will show you later in private. This flashlight works properly. It's now flashing light. But before this, I want to boot the system, to run the system. Before moving to the next subject, all of this, for many of us, it will say like, okay, wow, this is like a circus, like a clown. This is okay, my goodness, this is science fiction, cyber warfare from a civil citizen viewpoint. What's that? This is not a novelty. But we like to call it, okay, funny clown thing. Sometimes it's difficult for you to digest when you tell this story to somebody not having the concept of cyber warfare inside. This can be a reality from a hypothesis, from a proof of concept. It can be a real thing. This console commanding dashboard. Those of you who attended last year's session, you can see the interface in the control panel is on fluproject.com. Okay, it was cool. And now let's move on to the next stage. We wanted to put it in a very poor state because it's going to be low cost then. Let's move on to the very first scenario. Let's distribute the bot through some channel. We will infect some devices, and in the event these devices, okay, I will perform some actions with the infected devices. I will get in a Trojan virus inside, which gives me a control, and then I move on to the next layers. And let's see what we can do with this infecting technology. For the moment, there's nothing on screen. I'm connecting to an access point here.
Arrancamos. Bueno, para que veáis que es una linterna de verdad. ¿Por qué una linterna? Nadie se pregunta por qué una linterna.
You can see that it's a real flashlight. Because with the lantern, with the flashlight, by performing some studies, we detected that the flashlight is constantly downloaded by people. We can see millions and millions of downloads in very short time. The flashlight now is the application. You can't see the application, but now it's working. I will show you in private later on. Now it's booted, it's run. We can see that the devices has given me all this information. It's telling me this is the IP to which it goes to the internet. The access point, false. I'm not acting like an access point, and this is very interesting because if I could able to see from the console that apart from the device connected to me is acting as a Wi-Fi zone, I would be able to pivot towards that Wi-Fi area and open this window to the place where these people is. If this person is at their home and is connecting or sharing this connection towards 3G, and I'm accessing through this device to the Wi-Fi network, and I can pivot on stage. What can we also see? Now we have the flashlight, the type of network. We can see the location. Location, I understand that is correct, is accurate. If I go on Google, oh, routers on the go. I hope so. There we go. There we go. A little bit.
Sí, la puerta del hotel, ¿no? Vale, pues
Front door of this hotel. The coordinates given to us are the ones we expected. We can see the images from the coordinates as you go. There you go. We also have location Madrid in Spain, and last connection made, this the one on screen. We can also have many more scenarios, nothing new until now. Second scenario, if I have my devices distributed, not only they have to be in my country, they can be outside. I can also say I need a camera, I need a mic, I need a device in central Madrid, for instance, at Porto, also in a very conflictive hotspot in Madrid, for instance. And so we thought about, or we came out with this idea. Simply speaking, by telling here, I can add location, Puerta del Sol, Móstoles, Central Madrid. I can say, get me devices within a radius as such. GPS is not 100% reliable. That's why I'm saying low-cost technology. I can say, get me devices in 0.3 in a radius of 300 meters. By geolocation we look for, and now we get the report from the devices, and it's telling us downstairs the data. We'll be able to get more data if we have more devices connected, but since this is low-cost technology, it's like this, as such. We also have another option. We can look for active access point. If the infected and poisoned devices is acting as a Wi-Fi area, can pivot from this area to a different one. This tells us false. When you're looking for and you get this report, the device will appear on screen. Another important thing, are these devices connected to Wi-Fi networks? We can pivot and get into the houses, the companies of other people. We can look and search through connected devices, and this device is connected on the Wi-Fi. This Wi-Fi is very special Wi-Fi because Juan Antonio's access point Wi-Fi, there are some enforcements policies from the Spain state which are infiltrated in demonstrations. They have devices in conflicted points within the very same demonstration in the streets without putting somebody in there. We have the remaining 5 minutes. I will move on very quickly. We have scenario number 3 is a shell reverse. A reverse shell. We can get a shell. This possibility of injecting code in memory. We can insert the code in remote mode by indicating. Let's boot and run on one side here, the Metaploid, OCR injection. Metaploid has been loading. It's been loaded.
Esto lo voy a hacer aquí porque si no, no veo bien.
I'll do this here because I can't see properly.
Ahí el tabulador cómo suena, ¿eh?
Oh my goodness, what sounds? The ding dong ringing.
Sí, ahora damos zoom. Yo primero
Let's zoom in.
bastante básico, ¿vale?
This is very basic, but you can inject other shell code.
Configuramos a dónde se tiene que conectar.
Now we set up where it has to be connected, which is us.
Y dejamos esto aquí.
And let's leave it like this.
Por otro lado, vamos al panel.
On the other side, we go to the panel there, and we perform the order.
Si todo va bien.
If everything works fine,
tenemos la sesión.
and there we go.
Entonces, Juan,
The session, Juan.
móvil.
Juan, your mobile phone,
Entonces, lo que vamos
please.
a ver
Now we're going to see
es que ese dispositivo al
that
final
the
tiene
device in the
una
very
cámara
end
trasera, una
has
cámara
a
frontal.
backdoor
Si yo hubiese buscado un
camera, a front
dispositivo cerca de
camera,
un punto conflictivo donde yo pueda
close
actuar,
to a conflictive
ahora mismo coger lo que
point
está
where I
ocurriendo
want to
en ese
act.
sitio.
Now I can
Entonces,
capture what is going on there through the camera.
la back, sí, ¿no?
The back
Está
is
bien.
over here.
Estaba pomposo. ¿Se lo flash? Bueno,
There we go.
tenemos la foto.
We got the pic.
Mientras vamos a dejar el audio grabando.
In the meantime, I will leave the audio recording.
Di algo, ¿no?
Please say something.
Un poco. Esta imagen se llama...
This image is called C,
¿Cuál es? ¿La imagen
which
de
is, what image is it? What is that, C?
qué? No, sube. VP.
Is VP.
No, este es el audio. A ver, no.
This is the audio.
La foto es CN.
The pic is called CPN.
Sí, es esta aquí. Bueno, al final, sí, salís
In the
ahí.
very end, you appear on the pic on this photo.
Y... Bueno, el audio,
The audio,
pues lo voy a poner, no hemos hablado nada, tenemos que
we
dejar
didn't
al público.
say anything about the audio. We should have left it to the public, to the audience. Now you can hear the audio.
Y algo.
Hola, ¿qué hace?
Bueno, está claro
¿Cuánto tiempo lo has puesto?
que los dispositivos,
Okie dokie, devices on the go.
pues están capturando
Devices
continuamente y
were
están,
capturing
grabando continuamente.
continuously.
Bueno,
and they were recording continuously. Let's move on to attacks, port forwarding. We can also do the code DDoS, denial of services, through a big amount of calls, synchronized. We can leave out of combat the enemy's devices. We can tell this device, please call somebody in the audience. Let's check it. Let's check it out. But before that, I will hide the important number. Okay, let's hide it. There you go. People know how to hide it. We don't need it. We don't need how to tell, how to do. Now the loudspeaker turn on. We can tell. We can choose a number of repetition. We can choose a number of bots to be synchronized to update this kind of attack. For example, let's tell it, okay, 2 repetitions, and it would take around this number of 6. If we should we have more bots, we will select how many devices have to be called in a synchronized mode. Please wait a moment. Hold on, because now it's screwed up here. Okay, this is a call going on. It's calling now. Another call on the go. For the moment, we need to extend the time for people to say it. But you will hear it. You can't say it. You will hear it. Okie dokie. Something we thought of, something more complex. Okay, this is fine, but this guy is realizing that he's being attacked. Okay, the device, the phone has to be turned off. Okay, because this phone will be receiving many calls from several bots, a million scenario. There will be 1,000 people calling you. The device, okay, it will be out of order, and the battery will run out of service as well. But let's imagine, is there a guy in this, is this etalon in this room? Oh, no, it's over there. Question. Okay, I will tell you later in private. We thought of the concept of IMSI detach, IMSI detach. If I synchronize all the devices in my network for them to use the necessary time to contact the network and make the call with the operator and to update the registers, the logs, and then giving you the easy detachment before this communication is done and the device is ringing. I stop the call. I take you out of the network. IMC detachment, you are out of the network. When I connect a mobile device is connected to the network, I have the IMC detach. If I get this time, which is a variable time, if I get to this limited time and synchronize bot for them to perform continuously this process, I can get a denial of services distributed to this phone number. in a silent way, because the device won't ever be turned on. It will be out of the network. There will be another bot trying to take it out. There are some time slot where the real time can be sneaking through. This is a complex issue, but if this happens with the synchronization of several devices, you can get this guy out of this enemy out of the network in a very silent way. Okie dokie. Since we are running out of time, let's move on to the next topic. On the other side, we also have the denial services. Denial services amplification has the flooding. In the brain, we have many devices with the new technologies helping us, 4G, Wi-Fi with big power. These devices are more and more powerful, and the more we have, the more we can oust and destroy other targets. Now to sum up the conclusions, clear conclusions from a citizen viewpoint, we are fuck up, we are screwed up, because all of this can be aggravated with the internet of the things. As of today, we have 2 devices per person, which is they are given to the government. We'll have 9 devices by person per person, fridges, toasters, a tweeting toaster device. My owner has performed a toast and is tweeted on Twitter. My owner, the toaster owner, published, okay, my owner didn't use me today. Oh my goodness. All of these devices, 9 devices per person, the feeling from a viewpoint is that privacy is dead. And now we are fuck off and screwed up. All these infrastructures will be valid if we have low cost and a subjective government. But we're going to give you a proof of concept, a line of investigation, line of research, for you to see that this can be performed. The problem is, the benefit is between technology and cost, lowest manufacturing costs before adverse situations, which are equal on the internet. The typical loudspeaker example on the internet, big company, small company through internet, both bigger and smaller can have a lot of repercussion. The biggest state is not the one who has to be the winner. Now the talent can give money, can produce money.
Bueno, antes de las preguntas,
before moving to the question section, I would like to advertise the shirts done by the Geeks magazine people. From this percentage, we only get €1. I will give €1 per shirt to Hackers for Charity, an NGO looking for, fighting for a good cause. We also want to thank you all, thank the organization, thank all our supporters. Please get on the stage. These 2 guys on the front line, please. Rivera Market on stage. Thank you for helping us and supporting us so well. Your help has been fundamental. I told you you're gonna be on stage. These people help us developing all this stuff. Thank you very much. Now it's the round of questions, short round of questions for the audience. Thank you all. Please speak onto the microphone. Can you hear me? Thank you. Congratulations for your proof of concept. Absolutely cool. Very interesting. The question is very simple. The devices has to be treated for the performances and the actions you had mentioned. Where are you? Okay, luminous signs are at the back. Okay, I split you on the audience. Android has not been rooted. For this functionality, it's not rooted. We need to give them permissions when at the moment of the application is used. The user, with their consent, accepts the permissions. If the user does not accept the technology, it can be deceived, because in the very end, regarding the permissions, everybody will say, okay, yeah, yes, we'll check them out. But in the very end, 95% of the people using this technology don't check these permissions. Regarding the port forwarding and the routing, can you repeat the question? Port forwarding works without being routed? And pivoting as well, yes, they both work without being routed. This techniques works without routing. It was difficult for us to show you these techniques here on the screen, but we'll show you all these proofs of concept on our blogs. Congratulations again, very good job. Thank you very much. Can you hear me properly? Congratulations again, really my thanks. Questions. Imagine that my friends and myself won a big prize lottery, and I buy all the talent in this room. Who will be the winner? I have 500 million euros out of this lottery prize. I can get all the talent from hackers and interns. Who will win, you or ourselves? You refer to what? It's a complicated question. It's very complicated, this reflection, this thought. The one having the money, and depending on the ethics of the person owing the money, this money would be invested in such a way, or with the different bias. Because, okay, ours is a pivot, it's an experimental pivot. Now we are in experiential mode. We knew that if the United States is the enemy, it's difficult for us to confront it, because the states can cut you off, chop you off. But our scenario is not only the United States, there are other countries in the world arena. Now, research is going through this, it's going through the point of a citizen. Let's give the technology to the citizens, and what can citizens do with this technology? That's the point, this is our point. Thank you, cool presentation. There was a leak yesterday, Roman, excuse me? I told you. A good guy. He's a good guy. Okay, are you confronting, are you attacking the rooted.com website? What's going on here? What a mess. Anyways, thank you, Matt. It's been a great pleasure for me to share this time with you. Thank you very much.